Hey guys, Bubba here at the BubbaNews, all in one word, all in one news. How are you guys doing tonight? I just wanted to do another video like I did last night, and I'm just calling this one today's news tonight. And maybe that's what I should start doing, just taking the stuff that I've been putting up on the Telegram and making YouTube videos out of them. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. But I've gotten a lot of good feedback from the video I did last night with the Gaza ceasefire is over. And there's all kinds of stuff just going on. And with everything going on in the Middle East, I think I need to start doing videos a couple times a week, maybe even daily. But I know without a shadow of a doubt that the way things are going, I might even have to start doing multiple videos per day, because once this thing really kicks off in the Middle East, it's going to get nutty, Professor. And for those of you who joined me today over there with Gary McKibben, Pastor Gary there in Ireland, that was a lot of fun. So thanks, guys, for popping in. Let's get rid of this out of here. I haven't done this for a hot minute, so it's kind of a shock to my body again to do this, but to get these videos going. But I thought I'd just go over the stuff that I was posting up on Telegram today, because a lot of you guys on the YouTube side don't see what I've been putting out on the Telegram, and there's just so much going on. But anyway, let's get right to it. On my Telegram side, I like to post a Bible verse every day. But as soon as I got up, because I was up way too late last night, of course, and the ballistic missile attack from Yemen came in first before I even got a Bible verse up. So forgive me for that. But let's get right over there. Let's do this. Here we go. Yeah. So let's start over here, guys. This is how I woke up this morning, and here we go. Haven't seen this in a while. And it was shot down by the Arrow 3 missile defense system there in Israel. Shot it down over Saudi Arabia airspace, but it was a ballistic missile called the Palestine 2 from Yemen by the Houthis, targeting the Nevatim air base down there in southern Israel, close to the Dimona, right there, the Dimona nuclear plant. And the reason that this alert went out was because they were afraid of all the rocket fire coming in. But yeah, I mean, it was really close over here to the nuclear center right there, the Negev Nuclear Research Center. So that's what was really spooky about that thing. The Dimona nuclear facility was really close. So let's keep going. This is the verse that I popped up this morning. May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace as you trust in him. Romans 5:15-13. But here, let's keep going. This is Israel Katz today. And what he was saying is that Gaza will be destroyed soon, basically, because Israel's preparing for rocket fire from Gaza. And that has not happened yet. But the first one did come in from Yemen today. And Tel Aviv has opened bomb shelters. The IDF has warned residents of northern and southern Gaza to be on, be prepared. And I'm going to show a map here in a little bit how Israel is moving into Gaza as we speak. And they're telling people in Gaza to move towards the center of the Gaza Strip, away from where Israel's moving in. But this is Israel Katz earlier today, and he said that Hamas must realize that the rules of the game have changed and that Israel will not end the fighting until all the hostages are returned. Hamas must realize that the rules of the game have changed, and if it does not immediately release all of the hostages, the gates of hell will open, and Hamas will find itself facing the full intensity of the IDF in the air, by sea, and by land until its complete elimination. So he said, we will not stop fighting until all the hostages are returned and these threats to the southern residents are removed there in Gaza. But this is the missile that Yemen fired off earlier today. This is the Palestine 2, and it was shot down by Israel's Arrow 3 exo-atmospheric air defense system over the Saudi Arabia airspace before it even came into the Israeli airspace. So the Houthis released a statement saying, we targeted the Nevatim air base with a Palestine 2 hypersonic ballistic missile, but this missile speed goes between Mach 5 and Mach 9. So Israel got it. It got it. And anything above Mach 9, there's chances you may not intercept it. But Israel had to launch, I believe, two Arrow 3 missiles to actually take out this hypersonic missile. And this was a test by Yemen to see how good Israel's defense systems are. And Israel's ready. So far, there's been no other Yemen missiles coming in, or nothing even launched by Hamas. But that could change because Israel believes that they may see some rockets, but a major attack on Israel is unlikely. This is what Israel believes. They say that Hamas and Hezbollah are so much weaker now, and it's a different Middle East, or so they think, is what I said. So let's keep going. Today I did the interview there with Pastor Gary McKibben, so that was a lot of fun. But the American experts have announced today that if the Houthi attacks continue, that Trump will be in a very difficult situation and could order an attack on Iran in the next 2 weeks, which I find very ironic because, like I said last night, we're coming up to the last 2 weeks of Ramadan, and we're getting ready to go into April 1st. And that, on the Jewish calendar, begins the brand new year, Nisan 1. So we'll have to keep an eye on this. Yeah, we're going to have to keep an eye on this. And Israel was saying earlier today that airstrikes may expand in the coming hours, and residents of northern Gaza and Gaza City have been asked to leave to move south inside the Gaza Strip because Israel says that they're going to shut the water pipeline to northern Gaza. They're going to shut it off. So Israel officials say that the renewed strikes on Gaza terrorists aim to pressure Hamas back to negotiations and secure the release of more hostages trapped in captivity. If Hamas refuses, Israel will expand its operation beyond just airstrikes. And Israel said that so far their attacks that they've been taking out a bunch of the top echelon, and I've been seeing the post on Twitter of the top guys there in Hamas that they are taking out. But a lot of the videos last night did show a lot of carnage to some civilians. But you know what? These guys they're chickens, and they're hiding behind their families, which is so sad. Negotiations will resume under fire, Israeli defense officials are saying. And they say, do you want a ceasefire? Then release our hostages. And Israel's, they're going to go full bore here, coming very, very, very soon. So the Houthis are threatening to... I like this. Whoa, back up, Bubba. Excuse me there, folks. I see what happens. I told you, I haven't done this in a hot minute. But let's keep going down here. Let's just stick to our pictures and instead of trying to, make them bigger. But anyway, the Houthis are threatening to expand more attacks on Israel in the coming hours and days if the IDF strikes on Gaza continue, and they will continue. The U.S. military has renewed strikes in Yemen tonight. And we're going to see if Israel joins this fight against the Houthis because of the ballistic missile that was launched towards Israel today. And yesterday, President Trump warned Iran that it will be held responsible for any further attack from Yemen by the Houthis on the USS Truman, the aircraft carrier, and the other boats over there. So we'll see what happens next. I'd like to see what you guys comments in the comments below think, but it's going to start getting ugly. And Israel did start back up their airstrikes in northern Gaza. And Prime Minister Netanyahu says that hostage deals with Hamas will only be in parallel to military action under fire. But now, check this out. Israel is threatening to annex land in Gaza for every hostage that is harmed in captivity. Israel's going to start annexing land in Gaza. And the land that they're going to start taking over, and they're going to claim it's for military purposes only, but they're going to take that land, and that's going to be Israeli land going forward for every Israeli hostage that is being harmed in captivity. And this is very prophetic. Netanyahu said today, what happened in Gaza last night is just the beginning. We will continue the war until we achieve all the war's goals, eliminating Hamas, returning prisoners, and preventing Gaza from posing a threat to Israel anymore. So this is going to continue. And this is the map that I popped up earlier tonight. Everything you see here in red are areas that Israel has said to evacuate and to move inward towards Gaza City up here in the north and down here towards Khan Yunis, and to get out of all of these areas in the red because Israel's going to take over those areas. And the IDF spokesman in Arabic issued an evacuation notice for this large part of the Gaza Strip, all of that area in red. This war is in full swing. Everyone in the red areas has to move inland. Israel is basically going to take over all those areas in red. The international outcry will begin to explode into the news very, very soon, because this is going to start making major headlines to the United Nations, the Security Council resolutions. All kinds of people are going to come against this. Continuing to remain in the designated areas in red puts your life and the lives of your family members at risks. So all these people, and a lot of these people in these areas in red, will not move. But Israel's going to go forward, and they're going to start killing these people. And those pictures and those images and those videos are going to start coming forward as Israel begins their process to move in. And I said it will not matter, because civilians won't leave and mass casualties will ensue, and the United Nations will go nuts. And they will, because this is going to start getting nutty, Professor. This happened. Sorry about that, guys. I forgot I had this on autoplay, but those were new videos that were released by CENTCOM tonight of the attacks going on against the Houthis. And according to the Houthi media, the U.S. launched a wave of airstrikes, with at least 10 airstrikes hitting Houthi-controlled regions across Yemen. And the locals of Yemen, the Houthis, have reported that the Houthis have launched more missiles at the U.S. warships in the Red Sea tonight. And I saw the report. Basically, the Houthis have now said that they've launched 4 attacks now in the past 72 hours against the USS Truman, the aircraft carrier strike group there in the Red Sea. So I said, we'll see if the Houthis have a statement scheduled, but they'll probably just wait till morning. Well, they came out with one tonight, and they said that they actually did target and hit the USS Truman. I don't know if that's true or not, but the USS Truman strike group is moving in closer towards Yemen from up by Egypt there in the Red Sea. And as they're getting closer to Yemen and the Houthis, they're going to start launching their more high-end Iranian missiles at U.S. troops and forces on these boats. And especially these aircraft carriers, they're basically like sitting ducks in a weird way, because the Houthis have some surprises meant for the United States. Don't get me wrong. The United States has lots of surprises left for the Houthis and for Iran coming up. But I said this is all for grandstanding right now until sailors die or a ship sinks. Here's another one. Not only were the aircraft taking off from these aircraft carriers, but Tomahawk missiles were being launched at the Houthis. So, guess who else is getting into the game? Mohammed bin Salman. The foreign ministry of Saudi Arabia expresses its condemnation and denunciation in the strongest terms of Israel's resumption of aggressive forces against the Gaza Strip and Israel's direct shelling of civilian areas with no regard for humanitarian law. Saudi Arabia also condemns Israel's strikes in Syria, calling this a blatant violation of international law and regional stability. And I said, notice how Saudi Arabia is not condemning any of the USA attacks on the Houthis in Yemen. They're only going after Israel, saying, how dare you attack Hamas in Gaza? How dare you attack there in Syria? Oh, but you're attacking Yemen and the Houthis? Well, they've been a pain on our side for years, so we're not going to say anything about that. Saudi Arabia does have a habit of saying one thing in private and then saying another thing publicly in order to appease the Arab nations. If they want normalization with Israel and military protection from the United States, this will have to stop. And here's what I finished it off with tonight. I said something is very eerie tonight. It's way too quiet. No reports of attacks on Syria in the past few hours. No reports of attacks on Gaza in the past few hours. No reports of attacks on Yemen in the past few hours. No reports of the Houthis hitting the USS Truman in the past few hours either. So I said this is definitely a calm before a coming storm. But today, we're going to go somewhere different, because Trump and Putin had a 90-minute conversation, and they have agreed to an immediate ceasefire for energy infrastructure in the Ukraine conflict. So they spoke for 90 minutes on the need for peace and a ceasefire in the Ukraine war. Both leaders, Putin and Trump, agreed that this conflict needs to end with a lasting peace. The leaders agreed that the movement to peace will begin with an energy and infrastructure ceasefire, as well as technical negotiations on implementation of a maritime ceasefire in the Black Sea. A full ceasefire and then a permanent peace is coming, is what they're planning on doing. These negotiations for peace will begin immediately in the Middle East. And Mohammed bin Salman is basically going to be known as the peacemaker. He's going to bring all these people together. I'm not saying he's the Antichrist, but he's my number one candidate if I were to throw a dart right now. But everything is lining up with the two-state solution with Israel and with Gaza and Palestine coming up, the June 2nd to 4th peace conference at the United Nations, which overlaps the Shavuot time frame, Pentecost, that whole scenario. So we've got a lot of things that are still coming up. But here's something else I wanted to point out. The leader spoke broadly about the Middle East as a region of potential cooperation. Cooperation in the Middle East? Russia and the United States? Okay, to prevent future conflicts, Putin and Trump further discussed the need to stop the proliferation and strategic weapons and will engage with others to ensure the broadest possible application. But here's the point that got me. The two leaders shared both the view, including Putin, that Iran should never be in a position to destroy Israel. And Iran wants to destroy Israel with Operation True Promise 3. Because this is still what Iran has promised to come back and still attack Israel because of the Israeli attack back, what was that, October now? I believe it was in 2024. And Iran has still promised their retaliation. They haven't done it yet. I think Iran's planning on doing this next attack with nuclear warheads attached to their hypersonic and ballistic missiles. Iran continues to plan and prepare for an upcoming attack on Israel. So this is where I went to this next slide. Operation True Promise 3 with the Karamshar 4 missile. This missile is equipped with a warhead containing 80 projectiles, each weighing 18 kilograms, allowing this missile to hit 80 targets. With the launch of 100 of these missiles, up to 8,000 targets can be struck in Israel. The guidance system enables this missile to adjust and correct its trajectory both in space, because it's exoatmospheric, it goes up into space and it comes down. And just like we saw a few months ago when Iran attacked Israel with their hypersonic ballistic missiles, Israel could not shoot them down. And they were hitting the ground. They were hitting all around that airbase. But because this thing enables the missile to adjust and correct its trajectory both in space and upon reentry into the atmosphere, it renders this to be immune to being intercepted by any defense system in the world. You want to know why I say that? Because I started doing some Googling and Wikipedias and studying. This thing can travel at Mach 16 times the speed of sound, which is 12,275 miles per hour, or 3.41 miles per second. Israel and the USA might be planning something big for Iran soon. They will not allow Iran to launch nukes on Israel. Israel has to act now because Iran is on the fast track to obtaining several nuclear bombs. And Iran has said that they will attack Israel with nuclear warheads when they have 6 ready to go. The number 6 again. Go figure. God will not allow this. Neither will Israel allow this. Neither will the United States allow this. They will not allow Iran to launch nukes on Israel because God will not allow this to take place, because these are God's people that he will protect for his purpose, for his mission, for his time frame. And that time frame is coming up very soon. However, an ancient Bible prophecy in Jeremiah 49 verses 34 to 39 foretells of such a nuclear strike coming to Iran. So let's go back over here. I think I'm about ready to wrap up. Let's see here. Can I get this back over here, Bubba? Here we go. Back to me. So that's all I have. I want to end this now. Thanks, guys, for listening. This went way too long, 20 minutes, but thanks for watching. I'll upload this, and we'll see about doing another one tomorrow night. We've got some more interviews coming up here in the next few weeks. Well, the next few weeks coming up. We had Vendog last night. That was a lot of fun. I was over on his channel, and then I was over there on Gary McKibben's channel today in Ireland. So that was a lot of fun. I think I'd love to have some people come on my show and actually do some videos. I'd love to get a hold of Bill Salas talking about Psalm 83 war, Isaiah 17, Jeremiah 49, Isaiah 19, Ezekiel 28, even going into Ezekiel 38, 39 prophecy there with Magog, Gog and Magog, because there's so much coming up. And I believe that still we're in this calm before the storm. But once this thing really starts kicking off, it's going to make our heads spin. People ask me all the time before the Harpazo how much of this we will see. That I'm not sure. We might see some of these wars. We might not. The Damascus prophecy may happen before the Psalm 83 war. It may be on the tail end of it. This attack in Iran, Jeremiah 49 verses 34 to 39, verses 34 to 37 in specifics, may happen before the Psalm 83 war, but I have a feeling it might be the grand finale where Israel and Iran, or Israel and the United States, go on the attack on Iran to take out their nuclear warheads after Israel's taken care of Damascus, after Israel's taken care of the Arab enemies surrounding Israel in the Psalm 83 war, Zechariah 12, 1-9, and other passages as Israel moves and takes land that we read about in Amos 1, 6-8. We read about it in Jeremiah 47, verses 4-7. We read about it in Obadiah 1, 17-20, and a bunch of other things. So, guys, I'm rambling now, but thanks for watching. I'll get this uploaded, and we'll talk to you soon. And I will see you here, there, or in the air. Thanks so much for watching, guys.